Archie, what a week it's been here at the club. With 3 wins on the bounce, 4 wins and 5, and a couple of special memories created with stoppage time winners in recent weeks. Must be probably your best week in a ball short.
Yeah. I think for results, especially with a 3-game week coming in, we were always going to pick up as many points as we can, and coming away with 9 is obviously the perfect outcome. So obviously scoring goals in late minutes is always something that we've struggled at, and being able to start that this season is always a big thing.
I know a lot of the plaudits, of course, on Friday will go to Cornwall and Grehan, who got the goals on the day, but you came on from the bench in that game and you got the assist for the equaliser. You also put the ball into the mix for the second goal there as well, and arguably the result doesn't go that way without your introduction.
I think, especially if you're not starting, it's up to us as a squad to, have confidence in each other that you're going to come off the bench and make a difference. I just think for me, being part of the squad and being able to influence a game wherever I can is something that I was really pleased with, obviously, over the weekend.
On that note, that's something that Keith Buckley spoke to me here about last week. He said how he finds himself on the bench at the moment and having to have an impact when he comes on, or also play his role around the team when he's off the pitch too. But I think yourself and Rob are quite literal examples of that on Friday, obviously getting the assist, getting the goal. The squad depth has been massive in this past couple of weeks. Obviously, if you look at who came on off the bench, so you came on and got the assist, Rob came on and got the goal, Reece came on and Tala got the goal, James McManus came on and got the goal against Cork. It's the depth is hugely important.
Yeah, I think when we have 2-3 game weeks rolling, back to back, the manager obviously has no choice but to use the squad, and that is where we speak about all the time about, people who maybe aren't playing regularly, they have to be ready to step in. And this is a perfect example of why we have such a good squad this year. Anybody who steps in, we don't have a base starting 11, changes every week. And, that just shows the quality that we do have in the squad this year.
But not even just with kind of mid-game changes. Like if we look at players starting the game, so you started against Cork there a couple of weeks ago, and you were the 23rd player to start the game for Bohs this season, and that was the 10th week of the season, which is crazy. So obviously, how important is that squad depth in the long haul? But also, is it important that players who do find themselves on the bench on a Friday night have to keep that right mind frame, because their opportunity is going to come? It doesn't feel like anybody's here to make up the numbers.
No, I think that's something that every player can kind of build confidence from. They know that at some point they are going to be put in. And I think the manager is very good at rotating that kind of and putting that trust into the players that if you are going to come in, if you haven't played in maybe 3 or 4 games, then you're going to come in and perform the same way that he expects every other player to perform. Ultimately, we have to go to difficult places with maybe injuries. We've picked up a few now recently. And that has to be, up to players to take that in their stride. And it's the same for any player in their career. You might go through a tough stage where you're maybe not playing as many games as you want to, and you have to be ready to come in and show why you are part of the squad, because we can't have anybody dragging anybody along. So the squad's moving in a good direction this year, and let's hope we can keep it going on Friday.
And on Friday night then, just gone, obviously when you first get the equaliser, your instant reaction, I guess, was to turn to the fans and run to the crowd. What a buzz in those last couple of minutes. Well, actually, all through the game in Dalymount, the crowd was insane, but those last few minutes in particular, what was that like for you?
Yeah, I think, ever since I've been here, I've never seen a better home atmosphere than that. And I think you would struggle to find that anywhere else. And, I think just for obviously the Bohs fans maybe having a tough season last season as well as us, I think it was just nice for us to be able to, have that moment with the fans of it's at home, it's at Dalymount. It was our 3rd consecutive win through the week, and to do it in that fashion was just really nice to celebrate in front of the fans.
Obviously not to in any way encourage people to be coming onto the pitch or anything like that, but I didn't like when you do get that winner in the end. Like, I was looking at some of the pictures I'd gotten, the videos and stuff, and you're quite literally, and yourself and James Clark and stuff, you're hugging strangers in the crowd and stuff. And I don't know that it's felt as connected between the players and the fans as it has in recent weeks.
I wouldn't say so. Yeah, I wouldn't say so at all. I think since I've been here anyway, this is the most I've felt connected to the fans in terms of. I think that obviously comes with results, and understandably that is the case. They want to see effort, they want to see 3 points on the board. But as an atmosphere, as a collective group, they are obviously the 12th man, and that's up to us to try and bring that effort for them to get going. And ultimately, these results that we've picked up, it's so nice to be able to give them their reward for giving us a bit of, praise and motivation throughout a game.
And then you have another home game then to come this Friday against Waterford. A massive opportunity to extend that run, but obviously still a difficult game, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm going to be a bit cliche here and say, every game's important. But you know, especially after the 3 wins, you know, we've picked up recently. You know, we're on a good bit of form. You know, there's going to be a little bit of expectation there for us to, you know, go in and you know, follow through with the results that we've been putting up. So, you know, we have to deal with that pressure, and you know, we'll be ready for tomorrow whenever, you know, whatever comes up against us.
Would you be much of a believer yourself in the old new manager bounce?
Yeah. I mean, I think it does happen. I think there's always a reaction from the players, but you know, it's up to us to go and shut them down and show why, you know, we have this, you know, good run of form. It isn't just a piece of luck, and you know, it's a bit of hard work that's been put together by every single staff member and player at this club. So, you know, we're looking to take this in our stride and really make a push for the top of the table.
Best luck tomorrow, Archie. Thanks.
Appreciate it. Thank you.